Hello, everyone. This is Mike back with my SummerSlam recap and results. I did the NXT recap last night, and if you want to see that, you can just click the annotation above there. Well, yeah, that was a great show. I still think NXT was slightly better, but SummerSlam was really good too. So opened up with Orton and Sheamus. For some reason, the network, it was some weirdness with the network where it said there was a blackout for some reason on SummerSlam. So I didn't get to see some of the other earlier stuff with Jon Stewart interviewing people. Anyway, opened up with Orton and Sheamus. Orton went for the RKO, like on the very first move. Then Sheamus got on the mic saying everybody's going to respect the Hawk, all that kind of stuff. Orton hits a power slam. I think Orton got busted open at one point, like very lightly. Orton did his awesome rope DDT, but he did it from the top rope. Sheamus went for like the 10 beats where he pounds your chest thing, and he only did like 2 of them. And Sheamus tried to dive over the top rope. He got RKO'd. Sheamus rolled out of the way of that after getting RKO'd. Orton missed the punt. Sheamus hit the white noise. Orton kicked out of that. And then Orton took 2 brogue kicks, one in the corner and then one normal. So Sheamus won that. Decent match, probably like 3 out of 5. Next up, we get the tag team title match between the New Day, the Primetime Players, the Lucha Dragons, and the El Matadores, or El Matadors, whatever you want to call them. There was one point where Big E just crushed Darren Young on the apron. It looked pretty brutal. Xavier Woods was doing cheerleading on the outside. They had the press slam got reversed to a DDT. It was awesome. There was some. Oh, no, the press slam was some other match. Sorry. Xavier Woods is cheerleading Darren Young. I think he was actually bleeding from his mouth at one point. And then Titus O'Neil got tagged in and just was attacking everyone, like throwing everybody out of the ring, attacking everybody. He hit multiple backbreakers on one of the members of the Los Matadores. I don't remember who it was. There was a double splash in the corner where like Sin Cara went for a suicide dive, and that got countered. And then El Torito tried to jump off onto Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods grabbed him and just slammed him. That was pretty brutal. Big E had this suicide dive / spear. It looked like it got dodged, and he just went through the top rope and just destroyed whoever he landed on. Titus, then had like this like triple superplex pat like slam onto the Lucha Dragons in one of the Los Matadors. And it was 2 people on top. He threw him off the top like that. Pretty awesome. Then Kofi tagged himself in and won. So New Day are the new WWE Tag Team Champions. Next, we moved into Ziggler and Rusev. The tag match, probably going to give that like 4 stars. That was pretty good. Ziggler and Rusev come out next. Ziggler, hit some really awesome drop kicks, hit a couple like different moves. Rusev then started just, destroying Ziggler. There was a press slam that got reversed to a DDT by Ziggler. Ziggler hit like a top rope facebuster on Rusev. Then Ziggler had Rusev in a sleeper. It looked like Rusev was almost out. He hit the Famouser, the Accolade, and then Summer Rae and Lana started going at each other. And then Rusev and Ziggler were on the outside, and they both ended up getting countered out. So it was, and then Ziggler and Rusev had to separate Lana and Summer Rae. So mixed tag match coming in the future, maybe, hopefully. It'd be pretty decent. Probably 3 stars on that. Next up, we had Wade Barrett in Stardust against Adrian Neville and the dude from Arrow, like Scott Amell. I don't remember. I'll have to Google it really quick. So against Stephen Amell. Okay, yeah. So Scott, Stephen, close enough, but not really. This match was actually decent. Stephen Amell actually had some decent moves. The match was decent. I mean, they had 3 really good wrestlers in there and a celebrity. The celebrity actually held his own, had a few pretty good moves. Of course, Neville, being Neville, did a bunch of flips and all that. They ended up winning. We predicted that Neville and Amell would win. Neville hit the red arrow on Barrett to get the win. Probably 3 stars on this. Big Show against The Miz and Ryback. Basically, Miz tried to get out of the ring like right away. They were going to both try to double suplex the Big Show, both Ryback and Miz, and Show reverses that and suplexed both of them. He did a couple weird like moves off the ropes, which are actually kind of impressive for somebody of the Big Show's size. And there was a choke slam onto Ryback onto the Miz. Ryback hit the spine buster and then the shell shock. Miz came in and then tried to hit the skull crushing finale on Ryback, but he kicked out of that. And then basically Ryback throws Miz out or throws out Big Show and then pins the Miz. So Ryback retains. Next up, we moved into the match between Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper against Ambrose and Rollins. Weird thing about this match was that Roman Reigns was out of it for most of the match. Even the crowd started chanting, "Roman is sleeping" or "Reigns is sleeping." He was out for a while. Reigns and Ambrose ended up winning. We were predicting that there was going to be a heel turn from Ambrose. Maybe that'll happen on Raw. I don't know if they'll actually go through with that. I kind of hope they don't right now because it's kind of cool to have at least the Shield in some kind of iteration. I mean, it's not really the Shield without Rollins, but having them teaming up is pretty good. They won the match. Match was pretty good. Probably like 3.5 on this one. Cena and Rollins were next for both the WWE Championship and the U.S. Championship. Some great moves from both stars. There was like this flipping neck breaker off the middle rope. There was a couple, like some suicide dives from Rollins. He actually, I think, like hit 3 of them. Or he hit 2 suicide dives, and the next one was just like a top rope springboard onto Cena. Rollins had Cena in the tree of woe where he was tied up in the turnbuckles, and then did the stomp to Cena's chest from the top rope. Top rope leg drops. There was like a bunch of the AA got countered a couple times. Turned into he actually Rollins then turned that into the turnbuckle powerbomb. Rollins actually hit an AA himself on Cena. Cena, of course, kicked out of that. A bunch of other great moves. Cena had Rollins in the STF, and then at one point had him in a figure 4, which Rollins reversed the figure 4. Then Cena was in trouble with that. He misses one of the. I think he missed the Phoenix Splash twice. Goes for another AA, but the ref gets knocked down. And then one of the coolest things. I mean, I don't know if everybody agrees with me on this, but Jon Stewart comes out with a steel chair. Jon Stewart being the host of this year's SummerSlam. We don't know who he's going to attack. He looks over at Rollins, he looks at Cena, and then eventually hits Cena in the stomach with the chair, throws the chair down, and Rollins hits the pedigree on the chair, becoming the WWE Heavyweight Champion and also the U.S. Champion. Pretty cool heel turn. I kind of wish Jon Stewart actually stayed out after the match was over. As soon as he hit Cena and dropped the chair down, he bolted out of the ring. It would have been cool to see him teaming up with Rollins to do the "you can't see me" to Cena to rub it in. Pretty good match. I'm probably gonna give that 4. We had PCB, which is Paige, Charlotte, and Becky against Team Bella. The Bellas and Alicia Fox, and Team Beautiful and Dangerous, which is Naomi, Tamina, and Sasha Banks. Pretty good Divas match overall. Usually, it wasn't as good as, of course, the not Becky Lynch, but the Bayley match from last night. That was probably my match of the year so far. But this was really good overall. They had a part where all the Divas were just going over the top rope. They had even the Bellas did suicide dives, and then Paige ended up flipping onto everybody on the outside. Team Bad got eliminated first, and then Nikki hit Becky with the rack attack, but Paige and Charlotte came in and broke that up, and then Nikki hits Paige with a pretty brutal Alabama slam on the outside. Paige almost got counted out, and then Charlotte comes in, hits the figure 4, turning it into the figure 8 on Alicia Fox. That gets broken up. And also, we had Alicia Fox then gets hit with, they both hit each other with the big boot at the same time, so they were both out. Brie goes up for a missile drop kick against Becky Lynch and misses, and then Becky Lynch hits the pump handle suplex, and they win. Pretty good match overall. Probably going to give that 4 as well. Next up, we had Cesaro and Kevin Owens. Super brutal match. Cesaro has some awesome top rope corkscrew maneuvers. Multiple cannonballs. There was a cannonball on the outside against the barricade. Cesaro there's one part where he slammed him onto the top of this thing. Owens then did a tornado DDT. We had some super cuts, or super kicks, not super cuts, super kicks, and then there was a great running uppercut from Cesaro on the outside. He then hits the giant swing and turns that into a sharpshooter. Owens hits the fisherman's driver off the top, and then Cesaro actually does another top rope uppercut, but then tries to do something else to Kevin Owens, gets him up for a superplex or something. He gets racked on the top rope, gets brought back into the ring, gets hit with a pop-up power bomb, and Kevin Owens wins that. We predicted Kevin Owens would win, but this was a really good match as well. Probably 4 stars on this one. And next up, we had the main event of Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker. This was super, super brutal. Brock even attacked Undertaker before he can even get his leather trench coat off. He did the Suplex City, said Suplex City bitch a couple times. There was a time where Undertaker blocked the second suplex and sent Brock into the turnbuckle. I'm not sure if that's where Brock got busted open. He may have gotten busted open from Snake Eyes as well, because Undertaker used that as well. Brutal apron leg drop. He was going to go for another chokeslam, but when Brock got lifted up, he slipped out and got behind Undertaker and then hit him with a good 2 or 3 German suplexes. Undertaker got F5'd 3 times in the match. He got the first one. I think he got F5 through the French table, because I think it was Spanish, French, and then the main WWE table. Got slammed through that. Brock Lesnar says that he's going to kill the Undertaker, and then the Undertaker says that he'll have to. Undertaker hits a tombstone. Lesnar kicks out of that. There's a great spot where Brock got up first and was just laughing at Undertaker, and Undertaker then sat up, and then they started just punching the hell out of each other. Great punching, and Undertaker had him in a corner Kimura lock at one point on the top rope. Undertaker reverses that into the last ride. Undertaker gets hit with the second F5, kicks out, gets hit with a third F5, kicks out of that. And then here's where the weirdness happened. Undertaker's in the Kimura lock, and we see Charles Robinson, the referee, checking Brock Lesnar, because the Kimura, he's on his back, so he starts doing the 3 count. He gets to 1, and all of a sudden the bell rings, and Charles Robinson goes up to the rope. He's like, I didn't call for the bell. I don't know why you're ringing the bell. That was a count of 1. You shouldn't be ringing the bell. And then Undertaker locks on the Hell's Gate, and Brock Lesnar flips Undertaker off as Brock Lesnar passes out. So Undertaker wins by submission. But what the referees were saying was the bell was rung because Undertaker actually did tap out to the Kimura, but Charles Robinson didn't see that. He was actually checking for a pinning condition. So kind of a weird kind of screwed up finish. It sets up well for a rematch, though, I guess. Maybe it'll be something where I'm not sure if they'll just do a submission match next time, because that way there'll be no need to check the shoulders. After that, Paul Heyman goes out, rings the ring bell a bunch of times, announces that Brock Lesnar was the winner, and then the show ends. Probably going to give that match 4 stars as well. I'll probably take off a little bit just because of the weird finish. I was thinking maybe a Kane interference would have been a little bit better. And I think probably Undertaker is now, I guess, more heel than face, because he went for the hit. Before he locked in the Hell's Gate, he actually low-blowed Lesnar again. And then Lesnar just passed out to the Hell's Gate. He didn't actually tap out. It was cool to see him flip Undertaker off, though. And then Paul Heyman basically said Undertaker lost, Lesnar won. Overall, SummerSlam was really good. I don't think it was as good as NXT last night, but overall, a pretty good SummerSlam. I don't remember exactly SummerSlam last year very well, besides Cena losing the title. But overall, these last couple SummerSlams have been pretty good. This one especially. It's going to be interesting to see what they do on Raw tomorrow night about all this and what they're going to set up for Night of Champions. So that's my recap on SummerSlam. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.